So we're playing PT, and we're playing through PT because it's approaching its 3rd anniversary, and I still feel that it's one of the best horror games of the last decade or so. It's so hopefully just by going through this, you'll just see how well it's stood up, and just even from this, how influential it's been on other games since.
I mean, I did play it when it first came out. I didn't get very far because it was a bit scary.
It's one of those games where when it came out and I put it on, I recommended it to so many people, like at work, and they hadn't heard of it, and they said, what's this all about? And I said, just play it. It's the tensest thing you'll ever play. And they all came back and they were like, man, that really shook me up. So this game, I'll let you listen.
It looks as well just so kind of real.
Yeah. So we're in this thing, and there's been a murder report, and that's essentially you're kind of, as you're going along, you're learning about this crime that took place, and there's a lot. And that's the thing with this game is it's considering it does just take place in an L-shaped corridor. It has a lot of this its own mythology to it, and it's caused so much. It's created a lot of conversation about what the tale is about, and the themes that are being explored. So it just starts you off easy at first, and it's letting you know that you're you always need to figure something out to progress to the next room. So you can see.
I think that's the thing as well, is that not only is it kind of creepy looking, you've only really got 1 or 2 blind corners, haven't you?
Yeah. And
but the sound is nerve-wracking as well.
The sound design is incredible. And what I noticed the last few times I've played it, because I can pretty much speedrun it now, for the most part, I tend not to see a lot of the things that I saw the first time around. So it still doesn't have the impact it once had. So you can turn around corners, and if you do things wrong, you're going to see things that you might not see in this playthrough. There's always something different. So now there's a bit of a thud there. We can start looking around now, and you'll start to notice you can pick up clues along the way. And what these clues do, if you see here, you see this photograph on the wall.
Yeah.
So like as you collect these clues, should be one around here. You're going to start to fill that picture. It's just one of those little hidden, one of those Easter egg type things.
So I don't think I even got as far as this clicking and like the text that was appearing on the screen. I just don't think it did that.
It's the crime that does it. Can you hear it?
I don't like it.
And you're watching.
I don't like it at all. I know.
Alright. Well, we're going to try not to make it, to draw out this torture too much. Like I said, it's generally you can get through it fairly quickly. It's only the last bit that kind of gets a little bit tricky, because it's based on, well, I think it's even still unconfirmed as to why it's, but you'll see. To try and remember now how. But yeah, this game was just, it came out of the blue, and I genuinely believe that there's been really nothing like it. I've played just about every major horror game that's out there, and this one never fails to still creep me out, even when I know what's coming. And I think you turn the lights off and play this with, especially now, I'm playing with headphones now. I have my these new surround sound, the Stealth 400, and it's surprisingly.
It adds to the the fear factor there, doesn't it? The claustrophobia a little bit, where you can only, well, I know you can hear outside noise a little bit, but generally it feels a lot more personal to you because it's playing directly into your head.
Yeah. It's just a great example of being able to do a lot with just the most minimal. I say minimal of effort. They've put a hell of a lot of effort into this, but it doesn't take much to elicit the kind of response this game does. And some games try really hard over 10 or 20-hour campaigns and fail to just deliver the kind of tension that this game does. So I think that was just getting through it. You'll see, we're going to get to a part soon where I'll end up getting a torch, and then it's going to start going a bit more off the rails. We'll see. You never know. Even though I feel like I know how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Oh. It's funny how these little things, though, like cockroaches, just add to the scares. They just make it scarier.
And this is straight out of David Lynch, isn't it? This is Eraserhead stuff.
Oh yeah, the weird little baby type thing. Yeah, that's where, I don't know, it's just a bit terrifying.
So this won't trigger until this noise stops. And so you see, as the story unfolds, you're getting this idea now that something very disturbing went on with a woman and a child, and it's beautiful though. I mean, look, just the animations, little things like these cockroaches. It's all just, it's so, like you said, it's so realistic and unnerving. It's just disgusting.
What was the original idea of it then? Because obviously this was kind of a demo, kind of a teaser, playable trailer type thing for a full game of presumably not PT. Didn't PT stand for like part teaser or part trailer? Or
well, they call it playable teaser. No, I'm actually trying to figure
playable
out
teaser.
Yeah, playable teaser. I don't want to spoil that. If you're not aware of that, we'll hopefully see that when I wrap up the game here.
Okay.
Because that will reveal everything. So let's try and just get out of here. So
this is another staple of these type of scary games. It's like a really grotesque toilet. It's just like
you can forgive it.
What's happened to it that's made it so grotesque?
You can kind of forgive it a little bit. I mean, we're in an old disused home. You know, you can see here that you've got just things lying around, sweets and cans and old pictures and toys. Well,
I sort of get the cans though, because maybe you're putting them there because they're all going to go out for recycling at some point. I get that. But the sweets and things. Who leaves a half-eaten chocolate bar?
So here's a little puzzle. I remember when I first played this, I didn't quite cotton on because I didn't realise the buttons had an effect. But if you notice here, gouge it out. So we push the X button. Now this number...
Oh, so it's telling you what to do.
This number, I've never understood what it's for. But he calls it out. Let's keep going. Forgive me, Lisa. Lisa's, I think, a name that Kojima... Well, at least I think... well, not Kojima, but when I think of Silent Hill, there's a Lisa character in that game, and I don't know, it's just a common... So now we've got more crying.
So you think he's got some sort of... he likes the name, basically.
Yeah.
Bit like Adam Sandler likes character names ending with Y.
Tenuous link. I've not that's not something I've ever thought about.
It's pretty much the same thing. Oh shit! Sorry.
What? What? What was that? What got you?
The little window panel falling through. I think I'm a few
Oh
seconds behind
wow!
you.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of lag on it. So we're actually playing on Twitch, just to make that clear, because unfortunately, with Konami having removed this from their store, they also decided that they didn't want us to share it with anyone. So we're doing it on Twitch, and hopefully I might be able to fix that in audio. If I don't, then apologies.
Yeah, that just feels like a bit of a dick move, really. I mean, what do they? Oh, what do they gain from not letting people share play it?
Exactly. It's all over YouTube now. They can't cover any kind of tracks now. It's just a shame. Now this is something a bit more puzzly. I don't know how far behind you are, but there's this writing on the wall. So I can hear them calling to me from. And now there's obviously a puzzle here to solve. And just because I know, I'm going to go back here. And the idea is we walk up and down this corridor until we reveal some signs on the wall. Probably one of the more tedious aspects, because you do have to keep going around. Now, why isn't that... unless that loops, because that should appear there. Maybe I need to... maybe I need to actually exit. I forget. Okay, yeah. So it's going to basically reset from here.
I don't know if you can see, but you're actually amassing the viewers as well by playing through this.
I've noticed a couple popping up. Yeah, it's quite cool. Now you see what's happening?
Okay, so there's some sort of communication happening with the writing. And that L is new as well on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so every time you go back, a new letter's appearing. Oh, okay, they're moving from one place to the other.
Yeah.
How did you discover this, or did you read that that's what kind of happens?
Actually, I did manage to figure that out, but it was with ages. It was walking around, and it's just one of those things you notice after a while. And some of them I did have to look at, because admittedly there's a point you get to where you end up running around like a loon, and it gets a bit confusing. I'm ashamed to say. But they designed this game so that it wouldn't be solved so quickly, but it was solved pretty much 24 hours in.
I think that's the thing, though, as clever as some people are that can make these sorts of things, you know, it sort of stands to reason that you've got similarly clever people playing these games and then trying to solve them.
This is where it goes a bit crazy. This is where it gets a bit more David Lynch again. You've got these weird eyeballs. And now the trick to this is, this drove me mad. It did, until I had to Google it. And I will tell you what we're looking for is this painting on the floor, which covered an eyepiece. Now, and when you look into this eyepiece,
It's a bit okay, so you can see through the window. Fine. So this is looking into the room that we were in previously, right?
this is in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Disturbing stuff. And then we got the...
God, it's quite yeah, it is a bit freaky. So I've never seen this stuff before. Certainly didn't get this far. And I've not watched any streams. So I sort of thought it's always the thing that I'd like to play. Then of course I changed PlayStations, got a new one. I didn't properly back it up, keep it, so that's gone.
Well, I think I believe there's a workaround if you've had it previously. I'm not sure how difficult it is, but I don't think it's impossible to get the game back on your PlayStation. But I don't want to, say that just in case it is difficult. But I think there's a workaround. You'd have to Google it, and I think like Kotaku and Eurogamer and sites like that were saying that it may not necessarily. I like these as well. Like you can it's not well lit, but there's all these cool animations in the paintings.
Okay.
So we come to our next loop. We're going to go through this one. Hopefully, because obviously I want to get this finished within our stream time. So we can only record up to an hour. Where are we now then? So I'm trying to think. I haven't got. There's a piece of that painting I'm missing, which I'm trying to recall where that is. All right, now. Oh. We're getting some glitching. I need to. Did you see? Oh, I think it means it's gonna.
It's hard to work out. When I'm watching this on a stream, what's the stream or what's the game?
This reminds me of that.
It's that kind of freaky.
What was that old Nintendo game? Oh shit.
Oh, Eternal Darkness?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, isn't it?
Bit of psychological horror.
20. Shit, I didn't hear that. I know it's like 204. 20486. I'm heading there now.
That's weird.
So, not necessarily. Yeah, I think I was supposed to read out the numbers. I think I should have repeated the numbers there. But, I think it was like a get out. But you're only starting from the loop. It's not a permadeath thing. Now, what's different here? You'll notice is if we look to our right, we now have a little friend. Bag of Blood. And he will be a recurring character depending on how you play this game. Meaning, depending on how many times you die, etc.
You say it like, obviously I don't know, and you're saying Bag of Blood is a recurring character.
Well, so the more as you respawn, he'll just say different things on the table. You'll start talking to him, being generally a bit odd. So now, just back in. Okay, so I'm trying to think which part will. What am I missing? Because I don't think it's going to be... Unless I'm at the last part of the game. This might be with the... I'll tell you what I'll do. Right, I think this is pretty much towards the end, so I think this is. I want to be waiting for the alarm clock. I think. This is a very particular part of the puzzle now. This is where it gets a little trickier because you have to do it in a certain way to trigger. And you'll see as I go what I'm doing. Come on.
It's quite intricate, isn't it, in what you need to do to get everything to work and play out the way it should or is intended to. The use of colour is quite interesting as well.
Yeah, it
Obviously
alternates.
got dark and light, red lights earlier, green lights now.
So this is going to be we're going to try and figure out on the next loop around. She'll cry, basically you'll hear cries and moans, and it's very much this starts to be based on sound and how you need to be in the right room to trigger a certain. So you'll play it, and she'll either the moaning will either come from the phone, or it will come from the bathroom or around the radio. You kind of have to know the different sounds to trigger these things. And there's also a lot of I still don't even know if it's rumor it works, but there's a certain name you need to call in the game, because if you really dig into the game, you can kind of figure out the name of the child. And basically, I'm at a point now where I have to trigger a baby's laugh 3 times for the end game. I'm a little disappointed actually. I wanted to show you more. I think because I'm just playing it too properly, there's not so many scares. It's more just the atmosphere. But we've actually managed to evade some of the apparitions in the game. Some of the real disturbing things. Which is why it's really interesting to play this, because it can play differently each time. So as you saw before, basically we're waiting for the clock to go to midnight. Then we take 10 steps.
10. Okay, that's quite specific.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now wait. Is it there? Is Jared? I'm going to say Jared because I think it's J. Is that? I think that's the phone. Jared. J. If it isn't, we'll have to do it again.
So are you actually talking into that?
Yeah, apparently the microphone picks up the sounds. Ah, she's in the mirror. Triggered the second baby laugh. I'm gonna. Now I think I keep silent. The phone should the once you hear the second baby laugh, you keep silent, and then the controller should vibrate. I may have been late getting to her because I couldn't recognize the moaning. Just laughed again. Here we go. All right, Matt. So we've done it, and we've managed to not really get hurt too badly. That might disappoint some of our viewers, but just wanted to take you through the game and sit back and see what this could have been.
It's quite there's a lot to it, isn't there? In terms of things that you could get from it, or things that you could miss really easily.
Yeah. Even this message here can be read as a big sod-off message from Kojima to Konami. It's very, it's got so many tones.
I mean, there's obviously a lot, isn't there, of rumours and things between what happened with him and Konami.
Yeah.
That certainly does seem to be quite. Okay, this is interesting.
I know you're gonna like this.
Okay, so this is a cutscene. You're not controlling this.
No.
Oh, is this Norman Reedus?
Yeah.
A funny looking fella, isn't he? Silent Hill. Okay. That kind of makes sense. So or Silent Hills. So I'm obviously a little bit behind on the stream here, so that clearly was Norman Reedus as it announced it.
It's a real shame. It's a real shame, and you have to remember that Silent Hills isn't necessarily going to be in any way, that this teaser isn't in any way indicative of Silent Hill as it says. So it could be like a classic Silent Hill for all we knew. The upshot is that Kojima has gone on to form his company, and Guillermo del Toro is producing Death Stranding, which is going to feature Mads Mikkelsen as a character, and it's just looking. Well, actually, it's hard to gauge anything from it. The trailer, the cutscene trailer, the pre-rendered trailer was very suitably weird, and but we've seen no gameplay footage. So yeah, next year maybe, who knows, year after that. But if it's anything like this, this is just. I still believe that this stands as just an absolutely incredible achievement in horror games, and very few ever come close to matching it, and it does so much with so little. And
I mean, it's good for me to actually see it as well, because I've not seen it all the way through before. I'm glad I wasn't playing it, that's for sure.
well, now all it does is repeat the cycle. It will just start again, and you can play through it as you want. Experience new things, deliberately do things wrong. I'd love to be able to show you more of this stuff in it, but we still did good. That was a good playthrough. That was like a half an hour time, and it went to it went pretty smooth. So
that was good.
I think we can call it there, Matt. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah. Well, no, that's good. That's good. Thanks for playing it through.
It's all right. So happy birthday to PT, and he's looking forward to more of Kojima's madness, I suppose.